I don't understand why this is a bludgers and who cares? He doesn't know what that is, and he doesn't care.
Like, can you be out at the park using your omnioculars and be like, oh my gosh, that guy just tripped and fell in the water. I'm going to watch that.
So I'm not sure how much people love our pre-show chatters, but you know what? You want to get to know the people you're listening to, right? I know when I listen to podcasts, I want to know who I'm listening to, right? I like pre-show chatter. It's always fun to me. So my son started the baseball season on Friday. They won their first game, 9-12. So they were up 12. Today, they went against a team that my son had been telling me they went last year undefeated. And I went,
oh, wow.
Oh, so that's why you played another team at your school. Little warm-up game. They got creamed. 9-24.
Ooh.
Yeah. But, you know, they're just getting started.
Sure.
And it's good to see them out there playing a team of that caliber. Because you know when you're out there, you know what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And you see like, oh, okay, I need to work on this. I need to work on this. So it's nice seeing it. And the difference between watching them at practice to watching them at a game, I'm like, well, where's this stuff been? I haven't been seeing that, but now I am, and that's pretty cool to see.
Nice.
What do you got going on your end?
Just a little bit of everything. Work's been crazy busy. The gymnastics stuff has been getting crazy busy. I didn't have to go out of town this week, so that's beautiful.
And you said your son's in soccer.
Son's in soccer, yeah. They had a game tonight.
Oh, did they?
Or this afternoon.
How long has he been playing soccer?
This is probably, he's been playing for a few years.
And how old is he? I don't think
11.
I ever asked.
Yeah, he's 11.
Okay, same age.
So he's getting really good. He's a hustler, man. He's a runner.
Nice.
So, yeah, fun to watch him out there.
What's his position?
You know, he's really strong at defense, but at this age, the league that they're in, they're not allowed to give them set positions.
Yeah, the rules changed, yeah.
Yeah, they want him, at least for this league. If he were on a travel team, then...
It's the same thing with the baseball. They had to swap out the pitcher, the catcher, swap
let him
positions.
play different stuff. So he loves to play, striker, but he's so good. He's so good at defense. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll see. To be determined what he does.
Yeah, I like it. Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles, to Squib's Corner. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and tonight we're jumping into Chapter 7, Bagman and Crouch, Book 4, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Love this book. This is such a good book. But before we go forward, let's go backwards just a little bit. Chapter 6, the Portkey. Really, the sum of everything was there's a magical way of transportation called a Portkey where you can take any object, random or otherwise, do a little magic to it, and at a certain time, everybody that's touching that object or the Portkey will end up at the desired or designed destination. At this juncture, it is the campsites for the Quidditch World Cup. We meet Amos Diggory. We meet Cedric Diggory again. We've already met him in the last book. But yeah, that is how they travel. The Weasleys and Harry and Hermione travel to the Quidditch World Cup. So, before we get into our 7-word summary, just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to, we were going over numbers the other week, and just the amount of people that are listening in, tuning in, commenting, liking, sharing, just being a part of this journey. Super awesome. And we want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So, without further ado, the 7-word summary. That's our intro music, isn't it?
No, 7-word summary.
Oh.
It's been so long since we've done it.
It's been so long.
Man, when we wait almost a week to do this, it feels like...
Not good.
Yeah, it feels like we've waited too
It's
long.
not good. It's not good.
Andrew, what do you got for the 7-word summary for the Bagman and Crouch?
Mine is super simple. Winding us up for the World Cup.
That is super simple. Yeah. No,
yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, you can't keep everyone from doing magic.
We learned that.
Yeah, they're having
We
a
learned
real
that.
hard time of it.
Yeah. All right, so 7 chapter notables. There were a few. We learned a lot of cool things. There are a lot of not plot important tidbits to this chapter, but a lot of things happen in here. So it's pretty it's pretty cool. So number 1, Mr. Roberts. Number 2, Obliviate. Number 3, I love magic. Number 4, just use magic. Number 5, the Wizarding World. Number 6, Ludo Bagman. And 7, Barty Crouch. It just seemed necessary for the chapter to be Bagman and Crouch, for them to be chapter notables. I couldn't not do
I was
it.
waiting to see if you were going to put something about their tent in here.
Well, you'll see when we do I Love Magic.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. All right, so the first paragraph of chapter 7, Bagman and Crouch. Harry disentangled himself. Okay, so they just landed, right? Portkey ends. They just landed. Harry and most of the bunch end up falling to the ground, but Arthur, Cedric, and Amos didn't. Harry hated that. So Harry disentangled himself from Ron and got to his feet. They had arrived on what appeared to be a deserted stretch of misty moor. In front of them was a pair of tired and grumpy-looking wizards, one of whom was holding a large gold watch, the other a thick roll of parchment and a quill. Both were dressed as muggles, though very inexpertly. The man with the watch wore a tweed suit with thigh-length galoshes, his colleague a kilt and a poncho.
Yeah, I really like the emphasis on dress like a muggle. And J.K., she does a good job of making it look so difficult. Like, oh, what do normal people... I mean, you live in the wizarding world. What you're wearing is normal, right? So what you're seeing the muggles wearing, well, that's confusing. Why would they want to wear that stuff? As we'll read later...
Yeah.
I bought it from a muggle shop.
Yeah. And it's also like, there's only one fully wizarding community in Britain.
Yeah.
Right? So most every wizard lives amongst muggles.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's so hard for them to dress like muggles is just very...
It's kind of like one of those things where there's a concept that someone's trying to explain to you, but in your head, you're like, that just doesn't make any sense.
Makes
If I
no
don't
sense,
understand it. That could be what that is. And now, again, them dressing like muggles and not really grasping the concept entirely still attracts attention from muggles, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing it right.
Yeah.
They're just not doing it right.
Yeah.
Mr. Weasley knows one of the workers, Basil. He picks up the boot, hands it to Basil, and it's promptly discarded into a box.
I'm going to correct you there.
Basil.
I do believe.
Me and my guy Cedric, we got together with Amos, and we decided on Basil.
Okay. It's not hurting anybody. Okay.
So it's a box full of items that were previously used as Portkeys. They're just tossing them because remember, a Portkey needs to be something that's of little to no importance. That's not going to attract attention.
What was their Portkey?
A boot.
There you go.
Mangy old boot.
There
you
you
know
go.
what? Now that you're bringing that up, I failed. My 7-word summary was supposed to include. Yeah, it's about time we start having pop quizzes.
Okay. I'm glad you said that.
such a hard
I'm
time.
glad you said that, Jeremiah.
they're having such a hard time keeping the witches and wizards from doing magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many witches and wizards are there?
How many witches and wizards are there? I mean, thousands. I don't know. Did they give a specific... They give a specific number?
I looked it up, and as you will say, that's not canon.
It's not canon.
100,000 witches and wizards.
Okay.
It says exactly 100,000.
Where does it say that? The internet?
The internet. The
Yeah,
internet.
nobody cares what the internet says. It's all a lie.
It's not canon. So Basil sends the Weasley. Basil sends the Weasley group on their way to the first field they come to, about a quarter of a mile away, and to check in with chapter notable number 1, Mr. Roberts. The Diggories would be going to another field and would be looking for Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne.
Bring on the pain. So they walk about 20 minutes. Mind you,
Seems like a bit much for a quarter mile.
they're still, yeah. I used to be able to walk 2 miles in about 15 minutes.
Like
And that's walking. So 20 minutes through the mist and finally got to a stone cottage with hundreds and hundreds of tents behind it. As soon as they met Mr. Roberts, Harry knew right away that he was an ordinary muggle. Mr. Roberts showed him where they'd be camping, the spots, and where they're confirmed, and that they'd only be staying for one night. And I did you mention how their name is spelt once they find it?
No, I didn't put that in there.
Yeah. So when it's time to pay, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Weasley had to, Harry, help! As he wasn't familiar enough with Muggle money to pay on his own, he kept asking Harry to identify the bills, which all the bills have the number on. All the American bills have the numbers on them.
And Mr. Weasley is infatuated with Muggle life. You're telling me that he's never seen Muggle... Oh, is this a 2? Yeah, it says it. The numbers are right there, bro.
I also want to correct
doing?
myself. This is not American money. I know that. But it has a number on it regardless. So
Regardless.
Yeah.
So,
some of the things
yeah.
Mr. Weasley says, I go, really? You're in this.
Yeah.
With how obsessed you seem about this, the math isn't mathing, Mr. Weasley.
Math isn't mathing. But Mr. Roberts overhears this conversation between Harry and Mr. Weasley, and he's like, "You foreigners?" No, they clearly
Foreigners?
They clearly have
Mr. Weasley
British,
doesn't know what a foreigner is.
yeah, clearly have British accents, and so Mr. Roberts starts to get suspicious of Mr. Weasley and things that he's seen that day. He points out that Mr. Weasley wasn't the first one who'd had trouble with money today. Just 10 minutes ago, someone tried to pay him with great gold coins the size of hubcaps.
Oh, did they really?
What a terrible, the size of hubcaps.
Yeah, that just sounds... I wouldn't want to carry that around.
Yeah. So, especially later in the chapter, Harry buys 3 things that are 10 galleons apiece, so 30 galleons. What, is he supposed to be walking around with 30 gold coins the size of hubcaps? Like, little continuity goes a long way. Yeah. So anyway, so Mr. Weasley's like, did he really? And Mr. Roberts like, yeah, this place has really never been this busy. Pre-booked for a while. Usually people just drop in and out. Like, this is pretty crazy. And then he tells Mr. Weasley, people from all over, loads of foreigners, and not just foreigners, weirdos, There's a bloke walking around in a kilt and a poncho. Bro, we just met that guy. But I love Mr. Weasley's response, like, in a kilt and a poncho. And he goes, shouldn't he? like, oh, is that not acceptable? Like, no, Arthur, it's not acceptable. So then he continues, Mr. Robert continues, it's like some sort of, I don't know, like some sort of rally. They all seem to know each other like a big party. At that moment, a wizard in +4s, and if you don't know what +4s are old school pants, breeches or trousers that go 4 inches below the knee. Now we know.
Yeah, it's part of the ministry, part of the group that comes in and does the obliviation to certain people.
But
memory modification.
But you'd think like all the ministry uniforms are robes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a weird title position to throw out there and not give a definition of what that is. But I guess you get to. He only shows up once, so
they
for
tell
us
us.
to get,
Yeah,
for
they
us
tell
to
us
get the
here.
understanding of what he is.
Yeah.
He would need to show up more than once, right? He only shows up the one time, right?
Yeah, at least this guy.
Yeah.
At least this guy. Because this isn't the first time that they've had to obliviate him.
Yes, the 10th
Right.
time. 10 times a day.
Yeah, 10 times a day.
to keep him happy.
Yeah, so the wizard in +4s appears out of thin air next to Mr. Roberts' front door, and then chapter notable number 2, obliviate, he said sharply, pointing his wand at Mr. Roberts. Instantly, Mr. Roberts' eyes slid out of focus, his brows unknitted, and a look of dreamy unconcern fell over his face. Now, we've heard, and we've met this spell before, obliviate.
Well, the way it defines it right here makes it sound like I kind of want somebody to come obliviate me so I can have a look of dreamy unconcern on my face.
Look, yes. We learned that the ministry has been having a lot of trouble with Mr. Roberts. Needs a memory charm 10 times a day to keep him happy. And Ludo Bagman's not helping, trotting around talking about bludgers and quaffles at the top of his voice. Not a worry about anti-muggle security.
Here's my other issue.
I love a good issue.
Why is it a concern to talk about bludgers and quaffles around muggles?
I think once you learn what Ludo is wearing, that then it becomes more, but yeah.
But not everyone knows everything. So if I heard somebody saying something I didn't know what they were talking about, I would think nothing of it. Like absolutely nothing of it.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't understand why this is bludgers and quaffles. Who cares? He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what that is, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He might go bludgers and quaffles. What?
Yeah. What?
But what else are you gonna do? I mean, would that be considered lazy writing? Do you think that's lazy writing?
I mean, it's a fill-in chapter at best.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about the Quidditch World Cup. We've transported ourselves to the Quidditch World Cup. Now we're setting up tents outside of the Quidditch World Cup.
But he could have said something like some of these witches and wizards aren't helping, just appearing out of thin air. That would make more sense than a bludger and a quaffle.
Well, I think they're all apparating. I mean, that's true. They're supposed to apparate to the woods, but then later we see Barty Crouch just apparate to a fire, to a campsite.
Well, they could have said like they're apparating in right in front of the the camp guards, and they're not supposed to be doing that. They're getting they're getting concerned. They're asking too many questions, but bludgers and quaffles.
I think for what it is, it's okay. She doesn't need to go to.
Oh, I wanted to deep dive on it.
Hello.
I had to deep dive. So, Jenny questioned why, and rightfully so, Ludo would be so careless about security, and Mr. Weasley had the perfect answer. Ludo's always been a bit, lax about security. You couldn't wish for a more enthusiastic head of sports department, though. He played Quidditch for England himself, and he was the best beater the Windborne Wasps ever had. That was terrible, but...
No. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
As they were walking to their campsite and passing the tents that were already set up, Harry knew exactly why Mr. Rogers was suspicious about many particular guests. Halfway up this field stood an extravagant confection of striped silk, like a miniature palace, with several peacocks tethered to the entrance. That's not how you set up. That's not how you set up. People don't set up tents like that.
They don't bring their peacocks, that's for sure.
A little farther, they passed a tent that had 3 floors and several turrets. And a short way beyond that tent, there were some with gardens, complete with a bird bath, sundial, fountain, and I think there was even some with chimneys, which, if I saw a tent with a chimney, I would go, how did they do that? I wouldn't think anything strange of it. I'd be, oh, they're smart. How did they do that?
Jeremiah.
What?
Spell chimney for me.
Are you upset that I said chimney? And not
I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I don't think any of us are upset. I think that it took us over a year to figure out that you'll throw like just random syllables in words. And now it's like a common thing. Like, it's so funny.
Hey, Cedric, that other dude. We all got together and we just wanted to mess with you. But it seems though Mr. Weasley was expecting this. Always the same. Can't resist showing off when we get together. They finally reach their campsite at the edge of the woods, at the top of the field, and Mr. Weasley tells him that the Quidditch Stadium is just on the other side of the woods. And I think their campsite is spelt Weesly. I
think there was a
not
Z.
Spelled wrong. Yeah,
I
maybe
think there was a Z.
Weezly. Yeah.
But it would. I mean, it's pretty cool that like they're right at the edge of the forest or
they
the
got a
woods
good
there,
site, yeah.
and then the Quidditch. Oh man, yes.
No, the whole thing sounds. I don't know if I'd be too excited about the amount of people there and how crammed it would be.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
From reading it, I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. I wouldn't do it, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. It sounds awesome. So they get to the campsite. They had 2 campsites, sites for the tents. So Mr. Weasley takes off his pack and he suggests that they should put up their tents without magic, even though they just passed all of these tents that clearly have magical aspects to them. But he goes, let's put up the tents without magic, since they're not supposed to be.
He's in the spirit right now.
He's in the spirit. Yeah, we're on Muggle land. We're not supposed to be doing magic. At least, not while so many, witches and wizards are here. And he asks.
I think he even kind of laughingly says, he's, oh, it's the rules.
Let's
all
see.
giddy.
Yeah. And we do see, it's kind of nice that this is the most that we've seen of Mr. Weasley, it feels. Yeah. And so he's so in his element, he's going to put up.
Right now, he's kind of like the fun, like unserious person. And it's pretty
absolutely,
cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. So they're going to put up the tent. He asks for Harry's help, right? Okay, yeah, Harry was raised by Muggles. But fun fact, the Dursleys never took Harry camping, so Hermione jumps in.
Yeah, fun fact, Mr. Weasley can't read a room and still doesn't understand it.
Yeah,
he
seriously.
doesn't understand them.
Yeah, he might as well have just said, "Hey, Harry, come over here and help. Your parents must have taken you camping."
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, about his. You met the Dursleys, bro. You met the Dursleys. So
you must know all about camping with your really nice aunts and uncles.
Yeah. So Harry and Hermione are helping as best they can. Turns out, Mr. Weasley was more of a hindrance than he was a help. But eventually, they got both, as Harry calls them, shabby tents up and ready. When they stood back to look at the tents, Harry wasn't sure how 10 people were going to fit into them, but much less fit into them comfortably.
Well, they even said they got most of the poles, but so Hermione didn't even know how to do it either. The Muggles don't know how to do it. No.
They're a skiing family. They're not a camping family. So following Mr. Weasley, they crouched down. Chapter notable number 3. Do you remember what chapter notable number 3 was?
I love magic.
I love magic. Harry bends down, ducks under the tent flap, and felt his jaw drop. He'd walked into what looked like an old-fashioned 3-room flat, complete with bathroom and kitchen. One thing they were lacking, though, was water. So Ron, Harry, and Hermione go to a tap on the other side of the field to get some water, and the rest of the group were going to collect firewood Chapter notable number 4.
It's nice to hear it again. And
Chapter
it's
notable
also,
number, yes.
It's also sad.
Don't be sad.
You
got this. You got this. You got this. Chapter notable number 4. Just use magic. Right? You're in the tent. Nobody can see you. Just use magic. There are 2 spells. One that makes fire and one that makes water.
Aguamente.
That's the water one.
Yeah.
What's the fire one?
The fire one is... I know there's a fiend fire, but I would assume that's not the one we're talking about.
We are not talking about fiend fire. No.
Inflamora?
Ooh, so close. I like where you were going with that.
That's what I got.
Incendio.
Yeah.
Incendio.
Inflamora.
Okay.
That's something else.
But you were quick with the draw on Aguamente, so
50%.
look, kudos.
We'll call it 75 since I was close.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works when we're doing a pop quiz.
This will not be your last.
No,
pop quiz.
that's how it works when we're doing the end of the book pop quiz, according to you. So I got a 75%.
I deserve that. I try to be a good person.
Try. Keyword try. So, Harry, Ron, and Hermione make their way to the water tap because Aguamente, nothing else.
Can't do it.
Mr. Weasley, like I said, he's just kid in a candy shop. He's happier than a kid in a candy shop, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think this is the happiest we're going to see him throughout the whole rest of the series. I've never thought about it before, but his character arc is huge. Like, we go from nice, relaxed, the dad that's like, hey, it's okay, and the guy that's all giddy about the silliest things, and he starts getting pretty serious as we go.
Or
he gets put in serious situations, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they woke up super early to make it to the Portkey. Oh, now we got to remember they woke up super early to get to the Portkey, and now with the sun newly risen and the mist lifting, they could see the city of tents that stretched in every direction. They made their way slowly through the rows, staring eagerly around. It was only just dawning on Harry how many witches and wizards there must be in the world. He had never really thought much about those in other countries. He's still 4 years in. He's still new to this.
Yeah, his wizarding world is at Hogwarts, at Diagon Alley, and at Hogsmeade. Like, that is his wizarding realization.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the extent. Yeah. The families and children were the first to wake up outside. This is the first time Harry has seen wizarding babies. And that's true, now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah.
He even saw 2 little witches riding, would this be a recap? Toy broomsticks. Is that a recap? Is that a recap, Andrew?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, okay. And the Ministry wizard was already on his way to go stop them. He walked over there like mumbling to himself.
Yeah.
Here and there, adult wizards and witches were emerging from their tents and starting to cook breakfast. Some, with furtive looks around them, conjured fires with their wands, and others were striking matches with dubious looks on their faces, as though, sure, this couldn't work. And you talk about Mr. Weasley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, chapter notable number 5, 3 African wizards sat in serious conversation, all of them wearing long white robes and roasting what looked like a rabbit, because that's what muggles do, on a bright purple fire, while a group of middle-aged American witches sat gossiping happily beneath their spangled banner, stretched between their tents that read, "The Salem Witches Institute," which
I love that.
sounds more like something muggles would do. To me. I mean, sitting around gossiping.
Sure.
Muggles love to talk about witches. So I think
Yeah.
that works. Harry caught snatches of conversations in strange languages from the inside of tents they passed. And though he couldn't understand a word, the tone of every single voice was excited.
Yeah, I could just imagine Harry here seeing witches and wizards from around the world, right? The wizarding world, and how he's got to be so. And, probably Hermione's feeling very much of that as well because she's probably read a lot about witches and wizards in other
Hermione's
countries.
probably giddy.
But yeah, to see this, I mean, like it's, super cool. Super cool. Even for the reader to be able, like, you can see the three African men in the white robes. You can see the Salem witches. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So they continue walking, and as they're walking, they walk into an area where all of the tents were covered in thick green shamrocks. And they met Seamus Finnegan, whose best friend Dean Thomas was there with him, and Seamus Finnegan's mom, amongst a sea of shamrocks, which is obviously where all of the diehard Ireland supporters were staying. Then they set off to go see what the Bulgarian tents looked like, and when they got there, all of the tents had the same poster attached to it, the poster of a very surly face with heavy black eyebrows. The picture was, of course, moving, just like all pictures do in the magical world. But all it did was blink and scowl, and obviously the posters are of Victor Krum, the seeker for the Bulgarian team.
He looks grumpy.
So they continue to walk. They go get the water. They line up, small queue, waiting for the tap to become available. And they get in line behind a ministry wizard, trying his best to get an old wizard to dress in appropriate Muggle clothing, and not the flowery nightgown that he was wearing.
I like a nice breeze on the private parts.
I bought this in a Muggle shop. that's for ladies, man. It's for women. Oh, it's so good. So finally they get the water. They're making their way back to the campsite, and they kept running into people they know: Oliver Wood, Ernie Macmillan, Cho Chang, just to name a few. And then Harry points to a group of teenagers that he's never seen, and he asks Ron and Hermione, "Oh, who are they?" And then Ron's like, "Yo, there are wizarding schools outside of Hogwarts, outside of the United Kingdom." And this was something new to Harry again. And it's also just a little foreshadowing, right? It's some foreshadowing of the book, which is pretty cool, but we're kind of opened up to all of this wizarding world, wizarding schools outside of Hogwarts, and it's pretty neat.
No, it's nice. So they finally get back to the campsite, and Mr. Weasley is having a blast trying to light the fire using matches. He wasn't having success in his endeavors, so Hermione stepped over and showed him how to do it correctly. But the reason Mr. Weasley wasn't having any success is he kept oops!
He'd get surprised. He'd surprise himself when it lit. You're like, oh my gosh.
It's, we keep talking about it. I keep bringing it up, like the childlike behavior of Mr. Weasley. Like that's what you do when you're a kid, or really anytime you get a book of matches, you just strike.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I assume Hermione just walked over there so that, hey, we're going to run out of matches and we need a fire. Mr.
Yeah, I
Weasley.
mean, the book says they're all over the floor, right? I mean, they're all over the ground.
Hey, man, I get it. I've been there. The book of matches suck. It's the ones that you get in the box that you can strike. Those ones are fun. Yeah. So while they waited for the fire to get hot enough to cook over, they people watched. Yeah, which is a thing I used to love.
I love people watching.
Yeah, but as you get older, there's a certain age where you people watch and people don't like it. But then when you get old enough, people expect you to people watch. So
yeah,
I guess I have that to look forward to. Most of the ministry workers would greet Mr. Weasley as they passed him. I'm going to say this wrong.
I'm so excited.
Cuthbert Mockridge. And I'm going to laugh if I said that right.
I
Head
love
of the
it.
Goblin Liaison Office, Gilbert Wimple from the Committee on Experimental Charms, Arnold Peasgood, an Obliviator from the Accidental Magic Reversal Squad, Bode and Crocker, who are Unspeakables from the Department of Mysteries, which is weird because I think Ron even asked, what do those people do? And Mr. Weasley's like, I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy to think. Well, when I say it out loud, I was going to say it's crazy to think that there's people inside a ministry that you don't know what they do, but saying that out loud, that makes perfect sense.
Hey.
It's not
Hey.
crazy to think at all.
Hey. Hey.
Once the fire was ready to cook, Bill, Charlie, and Percy came walking out of the woods, having just apparated to the venue. Man, they must be nice and rested.
Oh, yeah.
They probably took advantage of
This was so
that, too.
quiet. You know, the
Yeah.
house was so quiet. Oh.
Halfway through breakfast, chapter notable 6, Ludo Bagman came over to their campsite.
I love
Yeah, I was
Ludo's
gonna say, you look
character.
excited.
I love Ludo's character so much.
Ludo Bagman was easily the most noticeable person Harry had ever seen so far, even including old Archie in his flowered nightdress. He was wearing long Quidditch robes in thick horizontal stripes, a bright yellow and black. An enormous picture of a wasp was splashed across his chest. He had the look of a powerfully built man gone slightly to seed. The robes were stretched tightly across a large belly. He surely had not had in the days when he played Quidditch for England. His nose squashed, probably broken by a stray bludger, Harry thought. But his round blue eyes, short blonde hair, and rosy complexion made him look like a very overgrown schoolboy. And we all know
And
that person,
he
too.
is. Like that paints such a good picture of him.
Yeah.
And it does. Like Ludo just comes over, right? Ludo comes over. He's talking to Arthur. Can you believe how great this is? The conditions, the weather conditions. It's going to be a beautiful night. Like Ludo is all. I mean, this is the day of the World Cup.
Well, he even says, like, it's going so good, there's not really much to do, which shows you he's not paying attention and he's just having a good time.
Yeah, he's just having a good time. This is his day.
Yes.
Right? This is his day. So he goes over, he's talking to Arthur, and Arthur does what? He introduces all of his children to Ludo, along with Hermione and Harry, to which Ludo was intrigued. He gave Harry the little double take, looked for the scar, like, oh, Harry Potter here. But I think there's part of Ludo that's kind of like Lockhart. I think Ludo.
I can see it.
I think Ludo wants to be the man of the moment right now, even though he's clearly not playing. But he's over this. All the ministry people know. So he any other day he'd be like, "Oh, Harry Potter, what's up?" But I think he's like, "Harry Potter, okay, whatever. I'm Ludo Bagman. I put this whole thing together." You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
So then he asks Mr. Weasley if he wants to bet on the match. To which Mr. Weasley's like, yeah, I'll put a galleon on Ireland to win. And Ludo's like, a galleon? Bro, what are we doing here? But then Fred and George jump in. They're like, cool, we'll bet 37 galleons, 15 sickles, and 3 canuts that Ireland wins. But
This is a huge part of this book too.
this bet is. Yeah.
Yes.
And so part of the bet is, okay, we think Ireland's going to win, but Victor Crumb gets the snitch. Oh, and we'll throw in a fake wand.
The era of pop quizzes.
We're back.
We're back.
This is a multi-part pop quiz. How much did Ludo Bagman value the fake wand?
Did you say 5 galleons?
5 galleons. 5 galleons. How many sickles are in a galleon?
Isn't there 7 sickles to a gallon, so 35?
That was a crazy. I don't even know how you said that math out loud. No, not 35.
It was correct.
No.
Maybe
It
not
was
how
not.
many
It was
sickles to a galleon.
no.
The math
No.
was correct, but
The math was incorrect.
no, 7 times 5 is 35.
7 times 5 is 35. I don't know why we're multiplying 7 by 5 at all.
7 sickles to a galleon. That's what I'm
No. No.
10?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny. It's not 10.
It's been a minute since we went over this. I know we did go over it, but it's been a minute.
All right, well, your first guess was 7, then your second guess was 10. What's 7 plus 10?
17?
Okay, good. 17 sickles to a galleon. How many knuts to a sickle?
5?
Bro, you think it would be that easy? Stop it with the 5, man. Stop it with the 5.
12.
Not even
32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
29. Okay, so 17 sickles to a galleon, 29 knuts to a sickle, 493 knuts to a galleon. Okay? Remember that forever.
No thanks. Even if I wanted to, whoop, it's gone.
But you got
Next
the 5
sentence is
galleon.
gone.
You got the 5 galleon part. So the 37.
so.
Yeah. So the 37 galleons, 15 sickles, 3 knuts, and then
I'm sure
he
everybody
adds
else
in.
listening is like, bro, what are you talking about?
Bro, stop it. This is terrible. So Fred and George bet the 37 galleons, 15 sickles, and 3 knuts that Ireland wins, but Victor Crumb gets the snitch. Ludo loves the fake wand, so he goes, I'm going to put a valuation of 5 galleons on that. Mr. Weasley didn't like this.
He didn't like it, but I feel like you can't help to be impressed. Like
He just
Ludo
kind
Bagman's
of-
going to give you five galleons for that fake wand. He's like, oh, this is the most convincing wand I've seen since something else.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And then Arthur tries to stop the bet, and then Ludo just kind of does Ludo thing, talks over him, goes on. He is pretty persistent. So Ludo tells Mr. Weasley that he's looking for Barty Crouch so that he can have a discussion because the Bulgarian representative over magical sports and games wants to talk to him.
All right, so that last one I got like maybe a 45%.
Wow, that was really high. Okay, so Ludo Bagman estimates that Barty Crouch speaks how many languages?
Oh, it was like 199. It was somewhere. It was something up there.
Okay, so Ludo Bagman guesses.
I listened to this chapter last week, by the way.
I did not get a chance to listen to the chapter. Ludo Bagman guesses that, or assumes that Barty Crouch can speak over 150 languages.
I was closer the first time. He incorrectly assumed.
Incorrectly assumed because Percy Weasley comes in and is like, bro, Mr. Crouch can speak over 200.
Yeah. So I was close. I'll take a 90% on that.
You were in the 90%. Oh, this is why we can't do pop quizzes. This is why we can't have nice things, Jeremiah.
It wasn't canon.
But upon hearing Barty Crouch's name, Percy becomes very enthusiastic. Right? He's like, yeah, he can speak Mermish and Troll and Gobbledygook. And they're like, friend George's like, anybody can speak Troll. You just grunt. But then Mr. Weasley, he's talking to Ludo and he goes, hey, man, do you have any update on Bertha Jorkins? And Ludo, again, he just doesn't seem worried about it, even though it's been some time.
Nobody seems worried about it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in the ministry, even Barty Crouch, right? We know Barty Crouch, he's worried about it. And even Ludo, he goes, poor old Bertha, merry like a leaky cauldron and no sense of direction. Lost. You take my word for it, she'll wander back into the office sometime in October thinking it's still July.
Well, he's not the only person that said something to that effect as well, so. Poor girl. I mean, Oh, she's gone missing. Ah, she'll show up. That seems to be what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Weasley, like Barty Crouch, thinks it's time for people to start looking for her. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're here for it.
Yeah. And then chapter notable number 7, Barty Crouch apparates right into their fireside. He's described as a stiff, upright, elderly man dressed in an impeccably crisp suit and tie. The parting of his short gray hair was almost unnaturally straight, and his narrow toothbrush mustache made it look as though he trimmed it using a slide rule. His shoes were very highly polished. Harry was sure that even Uncle Vernon would believe that he was a muggle by how he was dressed.
And I have to say, the movie did a great job.
Yeah.
With Barty Crouch. They completely left out Ludo Bagman.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But they did a great job. I thought they did a great job with Barty Crouch.
Yeah. Barty says that he's been looking for Ludo because the Bulgarians want to add 12 seats to their top box. And he could have just did that.
Could have just done that.
He could have just done that. I don't understand why he's been looking for him.
Magic.
Yeah. But again, they're trying not to do magic. Okay, everybody yelling at me right now.
You know what, though? I could see Barty as a very protocol guy.
Yeah.
And Barty was like, this isn't my department. I'll go get Ludo Bagman. This is his department. Yeah. And he can sign off on it. He can do it. I could see him.
That makes sense. Like,
I could see
when
that.
You have when was the last time you had a job where you answer to somebody? How long have you had your own businesses?
I mean, for a while, but so when I was down in Orlando, even though I was the clinic director of 2 offices, I mean, there were still owners of that company. So, I mean, technically I answered to them.
Yeah. So it's like he knows how to do it, but he doesn't want to step on anybody's feet and get somebody in trouble.
Yeah. You never want it to come back, but like, bro, why didn't you come back? Why didn't you tell me that this was...
I'm curious. When was the last time you had a normal, quote unquote, 9-to-5 job that you were an employee of, not some sort of owner or higher up?
I mean, when I was in chiropractic school, I coached gymnastics at night.
And how old were you?
I mean, that would have been 2013 to 2016. So. Because I graduated chiropractic school when I
assume you've
30.
had some sort of like customer service job.
Oh, yeah. I've worked for Apple. I've worked for Bank of America. Yeah, I mean,
I've only ever known you as like the like an owner-operator type person. So Percy promptly, that we're kind of right.
She loves alliteration.
Yes. Percy promptly came to see Mr. Crouch and was little bit too excited and asked him if he'd like a cup of tea. And that was the worst thing that could have happened in that moment to Percy because...
Poor Percy.
While Crouch responded by saying, yes, thank you, Weatherby. Right in front of everybody around the fire. Mr. Crouch and Mr. Weasley talk about some ministry business about flying carpets, which flying carpets are banned in the wizarding world.
They're banned in Britain.
Yeah, which is why whenever I say, well, I make a joke about flying carpets, well, they don't have flying carpets because they're not allowed. So that's why we never see them. I guess maybe it's just too cliche to put in here, possibly.
I mean, they're flying around on broomsticks. But really, you don't see... You
don't see it a lot.
There's only, that I can think of, one other time in the books where they use brooms for transportation.
Yeah.
They use them for sport.
Yeah, primarily, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably too much of a risk to use as transportation, I would assume. As would a magic carpet.
Well, that's the flying car. Everybody looked up and saw it. So I mean, I could see why they'd be. They're trying to conceal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Ludo asks Crouch if he's been busy, and he responds that he's been organizing Portkeys across 5 continents. And weren't there Weasley twins right there, just ready to make fun of Percy?
Oh yeah.
Or of Weatherby? I'm sorry, not Percy, but Weatherby.
Yes. Yes.
It's so great. The era is here.
How many continents are there, Jeremiah?
Are we talking about in the Wizarding World?
Stop it. The Wizarding World is in the world.
Isn't there... Man, I'm going to sound stupid.
You are going to sound stupid. I thought I was giving you a... But here's the thing. I've learned that many people do not readily know this answer, which blows my mind.
I'm going to say 13.
If I would have asked you how many original colonies were there in the New World, that would have been a correct answer, 13.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that doesn't know.
Continents. There are 7 continents.
Man, I was gonna say 7 too,
I was gonna ask you. Well, that's the only reason I asked it. I was like, ooh, 7 books,
yeah.
7's the magic, 7 continents. Okay, so if you're gonna
kids listening, when you take a quiz, they say do not second guess yourself. Go with your first answer.
Always go with your gut. Okay, so if we know that it's 7, can you name me the 7 continents?
Nope.
Can you name me 13 of the continents?
Definitely.
Okay, come on. Guess. I think you know more than you think you do.
I don't want to sound stupid in front of however many people are listening. What are they, Andrew? What are they?
Let's go North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Antarctica.
If you can't see, I'm shaking my head like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
You're over there like, yeah. He's like, I'll give you 63%.
No, I was thinking more like 52.
52% or 52 continents. What are you doing?
Hey, whatever one you want to go with.
But here's the fun thing. 30 years is going to pass, and somebody's going to be like, yeah, do you even know how many continents there are? You're going to be like, yes, I do. There are 7. On a podcast, I was asked how many continents were there.
Hey, I have to be honest. When I went to school, half of the stuff they were trying to teach me, I'm like, why? I don't care about this.
How does this affect me?
Yeah, I don't need to know this.
Yeah. So obviously, Barty Crouch has been super busy, and then Arthur Weasley is like, I bet you'll be happy when all this is done. And then Ludo is like, what? Glad? Don't know when I've had more fun. Still, it's not as though we haven't got anything to look forward to, eh, Barty? Eh? Plenty left to organize, eh? To which Crouch responds,
we agreed not to make the announcement until all the details.
I want you to know that your Barty accent and your Mrs. Weasley accent were scarily similar. And I'm here.
Where have you been?
All the details. Oh, details. Ludo responds. Oh, details. They've signed, haven't they? They've agreed, haven't they? I bet you anything these kids will know. These kids will know soon enough anyway. I mean, it's happening at Hogwarts. But Crouch cuts him off immediately. Right? He mentions Hogwarts, and Crouch is like, we're done here. Let's go out. We're going to go see the Bulgarians. So they leave. And Fred and George, the kids, are like, what's happening at Hogwarts? And Percy's all like, mum's the word. And Mr. Weasley's like, we're gonna, you'll find out. You'll find out later. I'm not gonna tell you. So that would have, I would have been set.
Yeah.
But anyway, she is able to steer the chapter back to, now it's getting later in the day, right? As the day is going on, excitement is beginning to raise for this match. And then it says this, I think this is just neat because I've been to big sporting events and stuff. Salesmen were apparating every few feet, carrying trays and pushing carts full of extraordinary merchandise. There were luminous rosettes, green for Ireland, red for Bulgaria, which were squealing the names of the players, pointed green hats bedecked with dancing shamrocks, Bulgarian scarves adorned with lions that really roared, flags from both countries that played their national anthems as they were waved. And there were tiny models of firebolts that really flew and collectible figures of famous players which strolled across the palm of your hand, preening themselves. I could just imagine, right? The last couple of pages of this chapter, like you could just imagine being there.
Yeah, I mean, we have this type, not this specific stuff, but we do parades around, like Christmas parades, 4th of July, parades, all kinds of parades. And those vendors walk down the road wheeling their cars. So it's the same thing, just better merchandise.
Magical
on
merch.
This, yes.
I'm all about the magical merch, baby.
Yeah. I'd love to get my hands on those little firebolts.
Oh, how cool would that be?
I'd buy one to use and one to just put up and tell everybody not to touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it. Yeah.
So Ron had brought a dancing shamrock hat, a large green rosette, and a small figurine of Victor Crumb, which he just adores.
He loves Victor Crumb.
Right
now. He loves Victor Crumb.
And here's where I feel like I need to bring this up, because Ron wanted a pair of omnioculars, but he couldn't afford it. He's like, oh man, if I knew about these before, I wouldn't have bought all this crap. And Harry's like, I'll buy them. He's no.
Yeah, he does not like that.
No, you're not going to do this. So Harry naturally bought 3 pairs of omnioculars and said, this is going to be, what, your Christmas present for the next 10 years or something?
Yeah, that's what he says. Like, you're not getting anything for Christmas from me. And then Ron's like, okay.
Yeah, he's okay, cool.
Okay.
He's happy.
Yeah.
So these things are pretty cool. They can replay actions, slow everything down, and flash up a play-by-play breakdown if you need it. And what I thought was hilarious, it's not even happening yet, but I still want to bring it up. So Harry's in the next chapter, I assume. He's watching the game, and he keeps like replaying Victor Crumb, and he starts talking to Hermione, and Hermione's like, would you stop replaying things?
Yeah, this is still happening. Now, I ask my question, in my head, having read the book so many times, I get to this part. It's like, okay, the rosette, the hat you can take home, you can do all of that stuff. But the omnioculars, like after the Quidditch World Cup, can you use them in any sport? Like, would they do, like, is the magic for any sporting event? Is it for day-to-day life? Like, can you be out at the park using your omnioculars and be like, oh my gosh, that guy just tripped and fell in the water. I'm going to watch that again. Because they're never brought up again.
Yeah, like I said, a one-time use thing, and after this, they're useless. But they sound very expensive, so
10 galleons, right? Yeah, so it's like, I mean, what are we doing? That's 4,930 knuts.
Yeah, when I Jesus. And then it took me so long to notice you did that. You just said it with a straight face.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
I guess, if you say so. When I go to this type of stuff, though, I don't buy anything anymore. When I was little, I talked my parents into it. But now, knowing it's all pretty much crap, I don't. Yeah. Like when my kid's like, oh, can you buy me this? I said, no, I don't buy things at tourist attractions. I don't buy it.
Yeah, like I'll get my kids cheap stuff because I know they're not going to hang on. Right?
I got him, the last thing I got him, we did, it was a parade, and they had it was when we took our trip to Texas. but they had like these light up sword things that threw out bubbles and played magic. I was like, you know what, let me buy him one. Within like a week, the handle's over there,
Yeah,
the shaft is over there, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is why, man. Like, take
yeah.
care of it.
If I,
If you took care of it, cool, yeah, I'll buy it. But if you're
yeah,
gonna break it,
yeah. If I play a really nice golf course, well, any golf course I play, I buy a ball marker. Like I have a collection
oh
of,
yeah, like
you know,
that's a little different.
but
Yeah,
if I'm playing at like if it's a PGA Tour course or just a top 100 course, I'll get a polo, like a golf
yeah.
polo with the course's logo on it.
See, that's different. It's not like a trap,
Not
like
a
a tourist trap.
yeah,
That's something you're gonna
yeah,
use. You're gonna get some
yeah,
value out of it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I just think back to when I was like, how much money did they waste? I mean, it wasn't as expensive as it is now, but how much did I talk them out of? Like, I feel like a jerk. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then usually I do wind up doing it because I feel bad. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, I wish you could understand why this is pointless.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, that's like, like if we went somewhere for a certain baseball game that was in a different city, I'd be like, yeah, let's buy something from around here to bring home. Yeah,
Sure,
I played a
yeah.
baseball game. That's different rather than having a, you know,
It's the cheap.
yeah. And it's always overpriced, so overpriced. He had his baseball game today, and we got there right on time, so couldn't get anything to drink. So I went to the snack stand. It was open. Said Coke 250. I said, oh, cool. I'll get one of those. No, it was a can. It was a little can. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I fell into the trap.
You did.
So after most of the activity of the day was done and they had all bought their souvenirs, they all went back to the tents. And in this situation, a souvenir for this? Yes.
The Quidditch World Cup
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
hasn't been
Yeah.
held in Britain for a while. Ireland's in.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
my son with his baseball, he said, oh, yeah, somebody told me when I play baseball again next year, it's going to be a different team name, different helmet, different colors. I said, cool. We could put this uniform. We could, I don't know if I will, but we could buy a little mannequin and put the uniform on a mannequin. That'd
There
be
you
totally
go.
cool, Like,
Yeah.
this is something you're going to keep because
Yeah.
my first ever team sport. It's awesome. So,
Yeah.
just stuff like that, that's pretty neat. Bill, Charlie, and Jenny were all sporting green rosettes too, and Mr. Weasley was carrying an Irish flag. Fred and George had no souvenirs, as they had given Bagman all of their gold. And then a deep, booming gong sounded somewhere beyond the woods, and at once green and red lanterns blazed into life in the trees, lighting a path to the field. It's time, said Mr. Weasley, looking as excited as any of them. Come on, let's go. Terrible, terrible accent, but it's all
Look,
right.
it was.
So, this is going to sound weird. I know Mrs. Weasley chose not to go.
Why?
Would
Why?
it have made sense or been kind of nice? I don't think it would make sense because you know how movies like they'll, like put like a B story, and we'll clip back over to Mrs. Weasley. Like, what's Mrs. Weasley doing? Why didn't she go? Would it have
Yeah.
been worth to put something in there like maybe them writing a letter to Mrs. Weasley? I don't know. Because I don't think we ever learn why she chose
Why
not
she's
to
not
go.
there? What she's doing?
It'd be
Who
cool to have a
knows?
little bit of context there.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if they're gonna do anything about that in the HBO series, or if that was even a thought that was brought. Oh, Mrs. Weasley chose not to go. Okay, let's show.
I could
her doing
easily see
something.
them doing something in the HBO series, probably more comical.
Yeah.
Like every now and then just flash back to her, and she's got, the
Going through
face
Fred
stuff
and
on
George's
with
room.
cucumber, just burning things in Fred and George's room, yeah. She's just looking for Weasley Wizard Wheez's stuff, and she keeps finding them in the crazy places.
Yeah. But other than that, what are your thoughts on this chapter?
It's a fun chapter. It's still, it's leading up, but we're still learning more, right? We need to be introduced that there are other schools out there. There are other countries out there. There's witches and wizards from all over the place. That kind of helps set the plot. At the end there, we get a little excited. We meet Ludo. We meet Barty. Obviously, they're big parts of this book.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting. You can feel yourself there when you're reading it. You can see the tents. You can just imagine.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
The different tents, and it's and by the end of the book, or by the end of the chapter, we didn't even talk about it. It's basically the ministry officials have given up, and there's magic happening everywhere, right? So it's.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, 100,000 people there. Just let them be.
And if you're going to obliviate...
You can obviously do memory modification, so...
Yeah, if you're going to obliviate people, then just let everything happen.
Let them have fun, yeah.
Yeah, be like, hey, buddy, this is going to seem weird, but we're all witches and wizards. You're going to see some cool stuff. We're going to have some good time. Anything you want right now, I can do some magic for you. Let's do it.
So I want to do a little bit of foreshadowing, I suppose.
Ooh.
What is your opinion on Barty Crouch?
From this chapter or from this book?
From the book, just in general.
Yo.
Do you like him? Do you not like him?
No.
Because he's kind of a mixed... In my opinion, he's kind of a mixed character.
He's a hypocrite. He's a felon.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe his character comes off as something you could not relate to, but relatable character, I suppose. Like she paints a good picture of him, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely neat to see him because, we've all met that person that is just so strict to the rules, right? That they're like, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're going to do. You can meet that.
I'm kind of like that.
But then, to just see him through the book, you're just like, you're a sleazeball.
And his character kind of plays out too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, it's just another example of how good she is at writing a character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so good.
Like
so good.
I can't think of anybody that we meet that you don't understand who they are. Even the people that you briefly, I bought this in a Muggle shop. Like even him, you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay, I kind of understand who this guy is. Like you just barely meet him though, Yeah. And Daedalus Diggle, like I got excited seeing him, in the HBO trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like he's not even talked about very much. His name gets brought up once in a while, but who that character is. Like I've never seen him. When I seen him, I was like, "Oh, that's Daedalus." Yeah. I don't know what he looks like, but that's him.
She's good. Which is why people love the books.
Oh yeah,
right? Because she wrote them just so relatable, and her characters, they're just good.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening or watching or however it is you're getting this podcast into your ears. If you have the option to leave a comment or a like or anything to that form, go ahead and do it because it would help get us pushed out there. Yeah. And I am curious, if you can leave a comment, what platform are you listening to this on? I'm a little curious about that. And in the meantime, you're supposed to share this with
all right, of your Potter friends.
Yeah, maybe a few, but I think all sounds better.
All sound wonderful.
Yeah. And join us next time when we recap Chapter 8. We're finally there.
Finally there.
That's in the title as well. We're finally there, the Quidditch World Cup. Andrew, go ahead and get us out of here.
Percy wouldn't recognize a joke if it danced naked in front of him wearing Dobby's tea cozy.
Squib's Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobaugh and co-hosted by Andrew Beecham, myself. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review. To inquire about being a guest, or if you have questions, comments, or just want to give us your Harry Potter story, email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow Jeremiah's YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram at Squibs Corner Podcast.